So that day I just had a chance to see multiple, and oh my goodness, that is something that I will never forget.
Now that I have mentioned it, can you guys see more clearly the different type of stitchings on here?
Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. Today I want to talk about quality. You know, quality is probably the number one thing that we care the most about in the world of luxury. No matter, what kind of luxury items you're buying, you're always looking at the finest craftsmanship, because that is what brands portray and that is what they're selling, is their expertise on craftsmanship and also materials that make them stand out from the rest of the players in the market. So since making the video on Louis Vuitton holiday pochette, it's this one right here, I have received your feedback and your sharing on whether or not you have observed similar phenomenons on how these pieces are made. And unfortunately, there have been so many feedback where I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to make a video and address this. A lot of my viewers have also just shared their story of when they unbox fresh delivered luxury goods and they're not produced in the quality standards that these brands are claiming. So it's really unfortunate that this is the case, because I have then received my pre-order piece from the store, and this exact piece looked a lot better than the one that I have received from online. And I do have another little story to share with you guys. Let's take a look at that first. Basically, this is when I had visited the Louis Vuitton store and I was purchasing some of these signature pieces from the canvas line. I was very lucky. I was given the choice to pick and choose from several stocks of the same item, and little did I know, when I was paying closer attention to it, almost all of them look completely different. Some of them appeared puffier than the other, and if you look at it from the top view, you can see that the beginning and the end are just completely different amongst all of the products. At this point, I really don't know what to think, and obviously I was very grateful that, the person that assisted me showed me all of these available ones that's there, because usually they only show you one or two, because this is generally how the stores are stocked. So that day I just had a chance to see multiple, and oh my goodness, that is something that I will never forget. The differences are really big amongst all of the items, but if you take them out individually, you can clearly see some of the pouches are sewn flatter compared to the other ones, and I personally prefer the puffier look, which is more of just like the rounded, and it doesn't look flat and kind of dead, you know what I mean? Because I was looking for two of them that day. Between the two that I have, I can still see a huge difference.
And here are some detailed differences between the two. I realized that this one picked up has the Made in France stamp, and the other one here does not have any indication as to where it's made. So in times like this, you would know if it doesn't have a stamp, it doesn't mean it's unauthentic, it's just not on there.
The craftsmen have different skills when they're making these. You can see in the details here that they all look different. It does not have a uniform look, and I just didn't know what to believe. So it's really saddening to see that this is kind of the quality that we're getting right now. And I certainly hope, brands can take the feedback from different stores and really work on the quality, because the price increases are not waiting and we just kept spending more money on it. So we are expecting a certain level of quality as consumers.
Alright, to go back to the two monogram key pouches I have here, you can see that one of them has a weird crease that's on the left side of the pouch, and the other one just has nothing. It's just smooth. And the one on top also appeared a little bit more flatter look-wise compared to the bottom. And over here, I just want to go into details and show you guys, what I am able to see, so you guys can visually see the detail differences and, how each craftsman perform very differently on the products that they make. So these are some of the corners and the bottoms, and bottom one just shows all of the stitchings. And this is a view from the right side of the pouch, and I'm going to roll over to the left side to show you as well. As you can see, there's a lot of variations.
So if you have been watching videos on my first luxury for a while, you know that I have shared I had worked at Louis Vuitton many years ago, and when I was working there, I don't remember receiving a lot of complaints on newly launched stuff. There's not like a common problem that is very well known amongst the product line. However, lately I have just been hearing a lot more horror story or unsatisfactory stories from friends in this community. Some of my viewers who watched the video have also left comments saying their stuff that they ordered online is not looking on part when they received it. For example, I remember one person said that he or she was supposed to receive a coin purse, but it's not even round. Like comments like that made me feel really sad, because how can quality diminish so much? Like, what is happening with the brand right now? I'm pretty sure the demand for their iconic little SLGs are high, but still, when you're producing something like that, you should keep it in mind that everything should look on par, and it should look like the quality that the brand is representing. But unfortunately, that's just not the case lately. And the example that I want to use here is the little mini pochette, and you can clearly see an indent. And I believe back in the days when I was working there, this would have not been something that would be given green light to sell to the customer. I have decided to send this one back, so after filming this video, this piece will be going back because I just don't think I will ever enjoy using this. There's just too obvious of an indent here, and I don't think that's something that could be fixed, because I had tried to stuff things in there, but you know, I just don't think it's ever gonna come back to the way it is. I do think it is a craftsmanship error though, because compared this one to the relatively better ones that I'm seeing here, I do see a huge difference between the bottom here. So one is flat and one is not. So this just tells me we should have expectations when it comes down to quality of the stuff, because eventually a lot of them are handmade items, so there will be variations.
And now let's take a look at the full pochettes that I have on hand. And I wanted to zoom in and show you guys the different kind of stitchings on all of the tabs. Let's start by looking at the brown tab here. You can see on the left side it's kind of a zigzag stitch compared to the carnelian tab. And then this hot pink one once again has more of a cricket and side zigzag stitching compared to the light pink one next to it. Look at them again, you can see more of a side zigzag instead of a very perfect stitching. So these are kind of the variations that you would have to expect on all of the pieces. On the flip side, you can see it more obviously because the hot pink one clearly has a very irregular stitching. The brown one here also have it. Now that I have mentioned it, can you guys see more clearly the different type of stitchings on here?
And even when I was working for Louis Vuitton, these are things that we have been trained to tell customers, which is there will be variations. That expectation you should still have when you're purchasing your next items, but if there's clearly flaws, then that is not something that you should take upon yourself. I would definitely suggest you to speak to the salesperson that you have worked with on the problematic item and let them know clearly what the issue is. I think the earlier you bring it to the store, the better they could assist you. Definitely don't wait too long. If you have already purchased an item and then you realize something is kind of off or if you don't like it, definitely bring it back and let them know. And I have heard friends sharing quite some issues on the canvas line. Majority of them, it's either like the zipper pull not working or the stitching is really off, or some of them the glazing on top of the bag had also peeled off. And those are just some of the quality issues that the brand really needs to look into and pay attention to. So us as consumers, we shouldn't really take that in as like something we can live with. And the reason why I'm making this video is to let you guys know that there is variation in the craftsmanship and how things are made. Some people might say luxury is completely perfect and luxury items are flawless and perfect all of the time, and this video is really just to tell you that that's not the case all of the time, and there is differences, and things vary from batch to batch, so you have to be on the lookout for yourself. Another concern that I can think about is probably when you're purchasing something from a secondhand buyer or from a reseller, from places that are not from the original store, then you might wonder, like, why are the qualities like this? I want you to double check and make sure you can get all of the proof or evidence or serial number or people that you trust that knows luxury that you can kind of consult with before you make a purchase, because a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, this must be fake, but it's not. It's not a counterfeit item, it's an authentic item that has flaws. So eventually when you encounter situations like this, you can be very careful and you would think more before you assume that it is not an authentic piece. So that is something I wanted to point out here, because not everything is perfect all of the time. If you compare things that's released from 5 different craftsmen, maybe 3 of them will look much alike, but 2 of them will look completely different than the other 3. This is a short and sweet video. I hope you guys could learn from the observations that I had. I really want to hear what you think. Have you encountered experiences like this? And are you willing to pay full price for items that have flaws? And I look forward to seeing what your opinions are. And thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope to see you on the next one, guys. Take care now. Bye.